Hello friends, welcome. Let's make some paper flowers today. I know. I'm sure you've seen it around. The technique that I'm going to do is definitely not the normal way of doing it. A lot of times that I see is people rolling flowers, so just taking a spiral and then rolling it, and then eventually you'll get a flower. I don't particularly care for that method, only because I don't like rolling anything. I don't know why. But the way that I like to do it is just by taking a whole bunch of different layers of paper and making them into flowers. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually getting ready to make a Mother's Day bouquet. I got this little milk jar, glass. It's not really glass. What is this? It's metal. But I got this at Michael's and I'm getting ready to fill it up. I have my little lines in there. But I have one flower already done, and so I'm just getting ready to fill this up with a whole bunch of different flowers. Today we got a daisy, peony, which is the one that I just showed you. These are two different ones. I might add a little bit of color into it. I also have a hibiscus. I love this. However, I feel like it needs a little bit more dimension, so I did pick up a little bit of alcohol ink, so I'm going to try this out. I haven't used it before. And then also we got a sunflower, and I cannot wait to get this all together. Okay, let me show you some little techniques that I have, and all you need is just a little foam mat and some rolling tools. Got a whole bunch right here. I'll link it all in the description in this video, so you can purchase what you need if you don't have anything on hand. But let's get started, and we'll make a couple flowers together. Okay, so if you've never tried rolling flowers or even making paper flowers, I'm going to start with the easiest and then work our way up to a peony, because the peonies are a little bit more difficult because they have so many layers into it. But once you get the hang of doing one beginner one, it's really easy. It's super simple. Okay, first I designed all of these in Design Space. These are all just flowers that you can get in Design Space. I will put on the bottom in the descriptions like what flowers I use for these. The hibiscus, however, although it is a Design Space image, I did a lot of slicing and welding to get this little middle part. So that might be a little bit more difficult if you're not used to designing and slicing and everything else like that. But everything else is just, I believe it's a free image in Design Space. If not, if you have access, you'll totally be able to use it. Okay, so with the daisy, which is this one right here, each daisy has like 2 layers and then one little yellow bloop is what we're gonna call it. Anytime that you make a flower, specifically these ones, I always like to make like the second layer a little bit smaller than the first. So if we line these 2 up, of course, I've been messing with this for a long time, so it's not lining up very well, but the inside is just a little bit smaller than the outside. And it's the same thing. You can tell most with this one right here, how there is 2 layers, but the back layer is bigger, a little bit bigger than this one. So when you make them, you want to make them smaller in size as they keep going until you get as many layers as you want. When you'll see it more in the peony, because the peony small inside part is really small versus the back. So you'll see it more in the dimensions there. But for the daisy, it's not really that much smaller, but it is smaller. Okay, so start with your largest piece. I always like to start with the largest piece. Start with your largest piece. Here's that little foam mat thing. You want to take, these are these little ball things. I always like to do like something that's a little bit smaller than my petal. Obviously this one is just a little bit bigger than the petal, so I want to go a little bit smaller. That's what all these are for. And you can tell that this one is just a little bit smaller than the actual petal size, which I think is perfect. And you always can go down. So if you decide that you want to go down, you can go down if you want to, or go up. It does matter. Okay, With this particular flower, the daisy, you see that the petals are going out from the center. They are going out, so they're coming back at you. What you want to do is take from the very outside tip of the petal, and you want to go in circular motions. See how it's just curled right up? Circular motions, and just pull it back. Same thing with the next one. You just kind of want to go circular motions and pull it back. We'll just keep on going. You want to get every single petal. See how it's all just kind of coming up at you? And just keep twisting and twisting until you get all the petals. Ooh, and see how I just missed the very tip of this one right here, and it's kind of just flipped out? All you want to do is just go back. Just go back. Paper is really forgiving. What you don't want to do is actually bend and crease the paper at all whatsoever, but just kind of breaking the fibers just a little bit so they bend. Now you can tell it's not flat. It curves like a bowl. But if you want it to curve even more, take that same circle that you did, go in the middle of the flower, and just go in circular motions and kind of spin the flower. Don't worry, you will not break your flower. And there it is, like this. So after you're done, because you didn't crease the paper, you just bent the fibers a little bit. If it's too much, you can just kind of flatten them out a little bit, which is what I did to this one. I just kind of want to flatten them out. Okay, now that you have that one, take your smaller one and do the same process. Now, it is smaller, so if you have to change your circle size to a smaller circle, then go ahead and do that. That's why when you buy these, you buy so many of them. They comes in a kit of 4, but then you have 8 circles. You just want to swirl and pull. I know a lot of people use these flowers for cards, banners, even to decorate shadow boxes. I've seen some really cool shadow boxes done. I am just going to make a Mother's Day bouquet. I think that having a forever flower bouquet is going to be amazing. I'm just going to go in the middle. Okay, there we go. So now we have what looks like a weird circle. You just kind of want to flatten them out a little bit. Okay. I have a glue gun. You can also use just regular glue if you wanted to. I just have a regular glue gun, hot glue gun. What you want to do with the daisy is you want to offset them. If you put them like this, one petal on top of the other petal, I mean, it looks okay, but a daisy is kind of more of an offset, just like this, where it's like not on top of each other. And that's what you want to do. So when you glue this, you want to make sure that you kind of glue them. Of course, it's easier. There we go. Glue them like that to where they're not on top of each other. What I always do with my hot glue gun is just take a little dab right here in the center. You don't need a whole lot of glue. And then just place it on straight in the center. Okay, there you go. There's the start of the daisy. A daisy is needing a little yellow center. I cut one out on Design Space, and I mean, it would look cute if it was like this. I think that's really cute. I make these embossing folders. I don't know if you can tell if it picks up the texture, but I just want a little bit of more texture into it. So I make these embossing folders. I think they're super cool. I have no idea where it's at. Oh, right here. I found it. Anyways, I make these embossing folders. They're super cool. I am just going to, my machine's over here to the left. I am just going to put this and one yellow circle, my homemade DIY project. I'm going to run this through my machine real quick. And I always like to go 2 times just to get it really embossed on there. And there we go. So whenever I do embossing, you can tell on one side it's raised and on the other side it is not. This is called debossing, I believe. Debossing and embossing. I don't know why they have 2 different names, but when I glue it on there, I want the raised edges to go behind it. So I want it to be like, I don't know how to appropriately describe that, but I want it to go down. I don't want it to be sticking out. So I am just going to take a dab of glue like that and then put it into the middle. But then I remember that I need to make this for a bouquet. So I'm not going to glue this on just yet. I'm going to take this over to my self-healing mat. Got it right here. Okay, I'm going to take this over to the self-healing mat. I just have a little baby hammer and then just a nail. And I'm just going to find the center of it. And you don't need to go all the way through. It's very, very thin, but just enough to where your piece of nail is sticking out of it. If this is what you're doing. If you're making the bouquet flower, then that's what you want to do. You want to put a hole in the center. I have these little wires right here, the flower wires, and I just have these little things right here because I bought 22 gauge and they're awfully hard to work with by your hand. So I just have these like little pliers to help me bend it a little bit. And then you want to create like a little U on one edge. And then you also want to bend it a whole 90 degrees so it lays flat on your flower. So in the end, it's going to look, I don't know if you can tell, but it has a U on top and then it's bent a 90 degree. Take the end and just kind of the wire and put it through your little hole and fish it through. And now, I'm sure you can see it better now, it will lay flat onto your flower. And then repeat the process with the glue and the yellow thing, the yellow center. Okay. There we go. One flower is done. I'm going to leave the long ends of the wire on there. And I'm just going to put them in my vase right now because I don't want to cut the wires too short just yet. But I just bent it just a little bit so it does not come flying out on top of that. Okay, so the next one, which we'll go with the easiest to the hardest. So the next one we'll do is the sunflower. The sunflower has 3 layers, and all 3 layers, let's see here. Actually, the sunflower has 4 layers. 1, 2, 3. Yep, the sunflower has 4 layers right here, and then we also have a brown center. Let's see. And like I said, with it being like a little bit smaller, you can really tell with this one how this top layer is actually a lot smaller than this, but it gradually gets there. And that's how you want your flower to look. Same, I always start with the largest and then I work my way to the smallest. So I'm going to flip my stack over and do the largest one. Again, take your little rolling thing and just go back. With the sunflower, it doesn't have a lot of petals, long petals, so it shouldn't take you long to do a sunflower. Okay, we've gotten to the point where all of the flowers are done, or the petals are done, but not the center. The center is really big, so I'm going to take my really big circle and I'm just going to rub it in there. Just like that. Okay, and just keep on going. See how I just kind of laid it in there? That's just so I know how many more I have to do and what order they need to go in. All right, we got one more. Okay, same thing like we did before with this one and the glue. I'm not gonna do the entire back, just a little dab will do ya. Just a little bit of hot glue. And offset them. Don't set them on top of each other. Same thing. Dab will do ya. And offsetting. Same thing. And offsetting. You can see that there is a lot of movement with that. Okay, just kind of want to rub this out just a little bit so it's not too lotusy. You know how lotuses are very gathered? I don't want that look, but this is the look I'm going for. Okay, I am going to put this, I didn't do it with this one, there's no texture to it, but I feel like it needs it, so I'm going to do a little bit of that embossing that I did with the daisy. I'm going to do it again with the center of the sunflower. Okay, the same thing. There is a raised portion and then a not raised portion. I am going to put the raised portion down. Oops. Oh, I did it again. Darn it. Woof. We'll try this again. I'll just re-glue that. Keep forgetting I'm doing a bouquet. So I'm just going to come over here. Find the center. Or try to find the center just a little bit. And you don't need to go all the way in because all you're doing is puncturing through the hole. And the the reason why I'm doing it like this versus just cutting a hole out initially when I first cut these is because it would be almost impossible to line up your holes after they've already been rolled and everything else like that. So okay, we're going to feed it through, pull tight. Make sure that wire lays really flat against your flower. You don't want it to be raised because then it'll raise your center part. You're essentially hiding that center wire. Oh, see, this is so much cuter with the texture in that. This is so much cuter than just a flat. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to redo that later. But oh my gosh. Okay, so same thing. I'm not going to cut the edge off. I'm just going to bend the wire just a little bit and stick it in my base. After I get all my flowers made, I'll have a better idea as to how much more filler or anything else like that that I have to do. Okay, so with the hibiscus, I have all these like little pieces right here because I was unsure whether or not I wanted to do like a smaller yellow thing or do a full yellow. So with the hibiscus, I've decided I like the 2 layers with a darker red center and then a long yellow. I like the look of this right here. So we just need 2 of the layers. This one, I did not offset them. I didn't do that, that's what we have been doing. What I'm doing is I'm just putting it right on top of each other. Just like that. That's how we're doing this flower. Okay. Same thing is I'm going to take a bigger one since these are bigger flowers, and I'm just going to drag it back and forth, doing a back and forth motion, dragging it from the outside in, so it kind of wants that that petal to move with you forward, like this. And if you don't get enough movement, you can go back around. And then just go around in the center like what we have been. There we go. Same thing with this one. Going from out to in. This one I'm going side to side and bringing it towards me. And then in the center, I'm just going around in a small little circle. Okay, again with this one, I want to go right on top of each other. Okay, so I just a little bit. Okay, let me show you this picture because I feel like then this next step will make a lot more sense. So for me, what I am seeing when I just Google hibiscus is like this, where the outside is a brighter red, but when you get closer to the middle, it's like a darker, deeper red, which I do have that here, right here, but I kind of want it to just gradually get into darkness instead of it just being that color. So what I did was I picked up some mulberry ink. Got some mulberry ink and some doodad daughter things. I have no idea what these are called. Blending tools, double-sided blending tools. They just have like a little sponge on it. I got it at Michael's. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this little doodad. Kind of just tap a little bit. Now, it doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but I'm just going to blend out. So before I forget, I'm going to make that little center hole. There we go. Put that back together. Okay, that wire is laying flat on that. I'm going to just take a little bit of hot glue and put it on the back of this little darker red portion. Make sure that wire is tight to your flower when you do this. There we go. Okay. This wire wants to just flip on me everywhere. Okay, then I'm going to take a little bit of glue. Here is that second little portion of that center. I'm going to take a little bit of glue on the back of, there we go. Oh, I think that is like, it almost has a poppy feel to it, but it's a hibiscus. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna bend this back again, stick it in my vase. Oh, it's turning out so stinking cute. Okay. For the poppy, let's get to the poppy. I already started with the largest ones. It's the same gist. This I was doing too. Same gist. I have all of my layers. They're all from outside the largest going in. What's that called? Staggered going in. Okay, so I have 2 of each because I'm making 2 of these. Same deal with this. All you're doing is taking this and you're going in circles and you're pulling towards you. This doesn't look like a whole bunch right now, but trust me, as you go and as you start filling it in, it's going to start looking like a poppy or a peony for sure. Now I have poppy stuck in my head. And it doesn't take a whole lot. Going around in circles. Okay, as your flowers get smaller, you probably are going to want to go down to a smaller ball. Which is exactly what I just did there. And we're just going to keep getting smaller and smaller. Okay, this is our last one. I'm gonna go smaller. All right, see how small that is? It's very small. And here it is, not glued. Same deal, we want to turn it upside down. Put your largest down first. If you don't have enough volume, you can always go back and put more in. Just a little bit of glue. And we're staggering. Just keep on gluing and staggering. One more. And peonies are a little bit more closed, so I'm just going to take my hand and just kind of close it up a little bit. I put my finger in the center and then just kind of close around that, just gently. You don't have to be too tough. It is paper. It'll move with you. Okay, for the center, we have two of these guys, and just like the flowers that you do with the petals, one's larger than the other one. Start with a small little ball, and you just want to roll it around in circles. And you see how it just pops right up? So you want to start with a small one and then do the large one and then do the small one. Just a little bit like that. And then you want to take just a dab of glue, very smallest amount, and stick it on top of each other, just like you did the flower. Did you see how? Okay. Cute. So cute. You did not glue this on center. You can totally tell that one, it's kind of drooping down to the right, but that's fine. No flower is perfect. So we're just going to take that nail again. This one, you're gonna have to do a little bit more with a pound to because you do have so many layers on there, but it shouldn't be too hard. And there we go. All right, make sure it's tight to your wire is tight to the flower, and then just do a dab of glue in your center, and you want to put it right on top of that wire piece. You're hiding the wire piece, but you're also making sure that the wire doesn't come out from the flower when it's in the vase. There we go. That is essentially flower making 101 right there. Okay, I have all of my flowers in the vase. And now I do need to add some greenery and more flowers in different sizes and colors, but you get the picture. We got a daisy, a sunflower, a peony, and then a hibiscus right there. I think hibiscus is my favorite, maybe the peony. But anyway, you get the picture. I will come back later and fill this in for you with more greenery and everything else like that, so you can also make a cute little Mother's Day bouquet. But that's the start of it, and all these flat paper flowers. All right, I will see you later.